you, Samantha. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So what do you think? Do you think the youth of South Africa are a lost generation? Let me share with you some statistics, and no, I haven't made these up, concerning the young people in South Africa between the ages of 5 and 15, around 19 million of them. 45% of our young people are sexually active. 3% of them have had an abortion. 11% of them are addicted to hardcore drugs. 43% of them are binge drinkers. That means they get drunk regularly. And 17% of our young people between the ages of 5 and 15 have attempted suicide. One succeeding every 40 seconds. That's one every 2 slides, 10 by the end of my presentation. Now, I'm often invited to speak all over South Africa to young people especially, and in doing that as an entrepreneur, the first thing we do, step one, market research. So I put together a little questionnaire and sent out thousands of these little questionnaires to try and figure out what my audience looks like. Questions like, what's the biggest problem in my school? Stupid people, that's what this person wrote. What are some of the biggest fights I have with my parents? They won't let me wear the clothes I want to wear. And other questions like, if there was one thing in your life that you would change, what would you change? And this girl wrote, the fact that I was ever born. I don't want to be here, it's too difficult. Now, all of this research, and being a father of 2 young girls, I have 2 daughters, 7 and 4, and no, those are not their names. They're called Kaylin and Kira. And my wife and I decided if we have a 3rd one, we're going to call it Wang Li, because I read that 1 in every 3 babies born is Chinese. And looking at the behaviors of my children and these children, I've realized that there's like 3 basic needs that all children have in life. In fact, all human beings have. And the first one is love, unconditional love, the need to be loved unconditionally. Not the Santa Claus kind of love where we love you when you're nice, not when you're naughty, when you perform, when you come first, not when you come last. And how do children spell love? No, not Rolex, T-I-M-E, that's how they spell love. I was almost late this evening because my little daughter kept saying, Dad, just 1 more minute, just 1 more minute, Dad, don't go yet, just 1 more minute. The next need or basic need that we as human beings have is the need to be recognized, recognition. I don't know if any of you have ever made the mistake of trying to play peekaboo with a little baby and having to spend an hour playing peekaboo with the little baby. But children and young people want to be recognized. They want to be seen. My little daughter who's 4, she jumps off the couch and she'll keep jumping off higher and higher things until I recognize her. The other thing that young people really, really need, and not only young people, again, I'm talking about all of us, is, besides recognition and unconditional love, is acceptance. Is to be accepted as part of a group. Now, if you didn't get that, that's a peer, and the peer's pressurizing him, so that's like pressure, peer pressure. It's peer pressure. It's where we're being pressurized to do things, to fit in, to wear our pants around our knees. My little daughter, when she was 6, she came up to me and she said, Dad, I want an iPad. I said to her, what do you mean you want an iPad? You've got a leap pad, you don't need an iPad. But Dad, all my friends have got iPads. I said, but what's wrong with your leap pad? But Dad, that's so 2006. So what do you mean 2006? You weren't even born back then. Meet Jordan van der Walt. Now, Jordan van der Walt went to school one day and decided that it's not right that so many children are hungry. And he put together a campaign and collected more than 100 tons of maize meal, feeding more than 30,000 young people. Sheldon Spear, lead SA hero, he calls himself a bookworm. He collected over 2,500 books and distributed them in his area to children who didn't have books to read. And then another one of my heroes, and this is my hero, not a lead SA hero, but young Kimberly Malope. She calls herself a motivational speaker. She's 12 years old. You might have seen her on SABC. She goes around the country teaching people how to grow vegetables in their backyard to feed themselves. How many of us are doing that kind of thing? And all is not lost. Young Tumelo Monoreng, who was part of an enterprise development project that we ran in Benoni, who for most of his life lived in a shack and just recently launched his own clothing brand, Follow Wear Clothing. Young people that are dynamic, that are changing the world. And you're looking at me and you say, oh, that's wonderful, keep going, keep up the good work, but what can I do? I don't know any young people, I can't be part of anything like that. Where are these young people that I can help and I can be part of? Ladies and gentlemen, they're in the mall down your street. They live across the road from you. Some of them even sleep in the room next door from you. And we've all heard it say that the future of South Africa is in the hands of the next generation. Have you heard that? I'm telling you now, the future of South Africa is not in the hands of the young or the next generation, the young people. The future of South Africa is in the hands of you and I, who take time, who invest time and effort, and come alongside these young people and influence them and impact their lives in such a way that they can change the world. The future of South Africa is the hands of you and I, who love them unconditionally, who accept them for who they are, who recognize them as little packages packed with potential, waiting to explode all over the scene. You see, the standard that we set by our words for the young people in South Africa is the standard they will live up to. If you want to live in a world, in a future, in a brighter tomorrow, you've got to believe in it. And if you believe in it, then you will. So ladies and gentlemen, no, I don't